Hello and welcome to another quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix. This one, Broken Harbors, as you can see up there. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get on Patreon for $5 a month. Because, this is a side project that the people that made Done Course are doing. Because this is a game about Rune and Devon's relationship before Dawn Chorus. Also, I think this is a short thing. It's like maybe an hour or two, so I'm probably going to do side plays of it. And if you have any other quick looks you want me to, tell me, and I'll add it to the list, and do it when the random number generator gods tell me to. Is there anything else to say before I start this? Oh yeah, apparently, I got quite a few kinks here. Nipple play, rimming snouts? Okay. Size musk, though I guess, you can get these from the start, but you need to know the past world so that you can unlock them. Oh well. Those guys must be really weird. I mean, okay, musk, sure. I'm not sure what size would be, but snout? Man, Breen and Devon are kinky. But enough about that. Let's start after I set my face. This visual novel features suggestive and sexually explicit content. Do you want to disable it? No. Oh, they have newer Rune. I mean, I don't dislike the newer sprites, but I really liked this previous sprites. Never saw the sprites that came before the sprites that came before this, the first set. Those ones look weird. I mean, I don't want to disparage, but it's also I'm glad that they went to Gen 2, but then, I don't know, I do prefer Gen 2 to Gen 3. Everybody looks, much bulkier in this version. You should see Toru from the first one, because he looks, anorexic. Then version 2, he looks, normal and stuff. But then version 3, he looks like a fucking bodybuilder. My dog. The hands on the deer's watch move usually slowly, tapping out a languid marching rhythm. I don't know. It was a beautiful day, the kind that happens maybe once or twice in November. No clouds draped across the vastness of the open blue sky. The lightest breeze carrying the salty smell of the sea. Gentle sun warming up necks and paws. That's the weirdest thing about being in the sea. Being in a harbor, you smell the sea and you smell the fish, but at sea you don't. Or at least I don't. Maybe it's just you're around it so much that you're like, oh, I don't smell it. The last breath of summer. November? Okay. Yet the beauty of it was lost on the deer. Standing under the statue of a dignified caribou clad with regal robes, he watched the constant stream of people passing by, glancing at his watch from time to time. Wearing only red corduroy trousers and a yellow t-shirt draped over his toned frame of an athletic student. He stood out among the pastel sweaters and subdued coats, like a butterfly on the autumn lawn, attracting passing glances, but engrossed in his own world, he paid them no attention. Hello? Rune? A tall black panther, dressed in light black jacket, and a white sweater underneath. Wait. A light jacket and a white sweater underneath. Yeah, no. Because it looks black. Wife beater there. Is there a white tank top? Is that the word? Emerged from the crowd and approached the deer, looking a bit lost, his steps unsure. Sorry for the reading, guys. I guess it takes some time to warm up from reading. As if wondering if he was in the right place. His aura carried much more seriousness than the deer's relaxed tone. He looked 30, or maybe slightly older, with a furrowed expression on his face. Ah, it's you. Good. Coach, hello. The deer perked up, looking at the panther. I can read, I swear. It was something new to him, having to look up into someone's eyes. At around 1.9 meters height, he was already towering over the most? Above the most. Above the most? Oh no. I hope you didn't have to wait for me too long. I thought this place was a bit closer. Sorry. 15 minutes is no big deal. Don't worry. So, we banging or what? I wanna snout fuck you. I find it silly, but I shouldn't yuck somebody's yums. How are you today? Having a nice morning? Good, thanks. And you? I'm fine, enjoying the weather. Popped into a store on my way here and bought a pack of berries. Do you want some? Or some coffee, maybe? I had breakfast and coffee already. I'm good to go. So, have you been here before? I think it's a good starting point. No, never. I haven't seen almost any of the city yet. The unpacking, paperwork, and the university kept me busy. Then we're at the old town of Anslow. It doesn't look particularly impressive because it's really... I feel like I'm having a stroke right now. Because it really is old, and a lot of it was already turned into ruins. It was never a rich town either, prior to the last century. A lot of Norwegian architecture used wood instead of stone, so the durability wasn't as good, and not many buildings survived intact. By the way, we're standing under the statue of Jacob Platzed, a 19th century king who stirred up a lot of controversy by marrying a bear. Also, do you guys have interracial species thing in this universe? No. The royal family considered purely of reindeer back then. But even among the population, the idea of interspecies married was rather polarizing. I guess there is, interbreeding. They joined the stream of people, walking side by side, the deer pointing in various directions and gesturing wildly while speaking, the panther nodding, his paws stuffed into the pockets of his jackets. Choosing the most scenic paths and avoiding roads, the deer led him through tourist attractions and local spots alike, showing them the corners of the city less known. The deer knew the town like his own backyard, having lived here his whole life, but showing it to someone else kindled a newfound excitement in him. To the panther, everything was new and fresh. His gaze clung to every building, old and new, every wooden rooftop, every small street, looking as if they were straight out of a fairy tale. Ugh. By rated abilities, they should be better. Guess I read a lot, seriously. Gawking around in awe, the panther forgot about his reservations and clung close to the deer until their shoulders brushed against each other. Oh, sorry. The deer didn't want the panther to feel self-conscious, again hiding behind the distance that diminished so much already over the course of the walk, so he bumped his shoulder against the feline playfully, chuckling. So, how do you like the city so far? I'm liking it a lot. I think I'll enjoy living here. It feels like a city, but without all the cons that come with it. There's no pollution, little traffic, and I have everything I need within walking distance. Though there is a language barrier. I started learning Norwegian before I got here, but it'll be a long time before I'm anywhere near fluent. Really? You seem to have a solid grasp on it. At least you had no problems leading the exercises. Well, I can speak a little. I had to get the language certificate before I got the job, of course. Leading exercises is easy. At least Norwegian sounds really nice. It's a pleasure to learn. harder is taking part in discussions, and I don't want everyone to have to go out of their way and switch to English just to include me in the conversation. Oh, don't you just love people that, like, you might be part of a group and you're all speaking one language? Like, let's say English, and then like, 2 or 3 people start just switch into, their own language. It's like, that's a little rude. Like, if you're much more fluent in that than, let's say, English, I was gonna say American, then it's like, yeah, okay, because you can get points across easier, accurately, and more quicker. But if it's like you're fluent in both languages, that's just kind of being rude. I don't speak in German just because other people might listen. Well, that's a polite thing to do. And almost everyone here speaks English anyway. It's easy to find people to talk to. Yeah, but no one is really happy about it. People prefer to speak their mother tongue. Don't get me wrong. Everyone, and especially other teachers, are doing their best to make me feel welcome. But I know how it is. It's just tiring, having a foreigner in the room. And there's a difference between friends and colleagues and acquaintances. You're the first one here to invite me anywhere, in fact. Oh, I didn't know that. Frankly, I was surprised you accepted my invitation, but now I see why. Yeah. It doesn't help that the rest of the faculty is mostly much older than I am. Like 35? That's practically ancient. How old are you, in fact, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, no, I'm 29. You're just a baby. I'm like 6 years older than that guy. Ah, that has to be it. They're jealous of how young and fit you are. Oh, sure. That's about it. That's about it in this area. We could take the metro and go to the artists district. What do you think? Actually, there's somewhere I thought about going. Onslow has a beautiful coast. It would be nice to finish the tour. It would be nice to, yeah. Could we get there now somehow? Oh, sure. It's not far from here, actually. We didn't even need the metro, or don't even need. And if you listen closely enough, you can even hear the sea right now. Indeed, there's the usual noise of the street, voices, and bus engines. There was a gentle rolling, a promise of shifting sand, of soft, salty breeze. Okay. I wonder what... It's weird how sometimes I can read really well, get every word, and then other times it's like, yep, I do not catch the main idea. Unless you're tired and would rather ride there? Oh, not in the slightest. I have some stamina. Have faith in me. Okay, down the road then. They made their way through the winding, centuries-old streets, the ocean smell growing stronger with each turn, until the blue vastness finally opened up before them. It kind of looks like that one place. I mean, I guess I could say, but I don't know. I have traveled the world doing work. Oh. The water glimmered in the early afternoon sun. Deep. I don't know a word. Cerulean, mirroring the spotless sky above. Behind, the land continued into a crescent, forming a bay. On the other side, white, sleek ships lined the wharf, tall and futuristic. More works of art than mere vessels. A wide boulevard ran alongside the water, lined with street lamps, elegant and simple, and benches, with trendy stores and expensive-looking restaurants with huge windows on the other side. And there were no cars, not a billboard or ad in sight, nothing to distract from the charm of this place. Yeah, it's nice. So, you've never been here? No, only at the other bay. There, where most modern museums are. Ah, the main waterfront. It's just behind that hill. I much prefer this one, even if it's less known. I see why. That one had a busy streets going alongside it, around it. Yeah, it's much nicer to walk here. There are a few city benches too. Beaches. Yeah, beaches. But they're farther away from here. I assume this would be fine. More than fine. It's a sea I like. Great. As they strolled along the coast, past piers and yachts, crepe stands and cafes, based in golden glow. Basket? Base, whatever. Like a memory of summer. A ferry roared its horn as it approached the wharf. People on board standing at the railing, anxious to get out, all of different shapes and sizes, of all species imaginable. At the front of a pair was a bear and a moose, holding paws. The sight took Devon by surprise. He couldn't help but stare, his gaze locked on these joined paws, fingers intertwined in a reassuring gesture. Wincing from some pain unidentifiable, he stuffed his own paws deep into his pockets, closing by themselves on his phone and wallet. Absorbed by the wonders of the city, both ancient and modern, his gaze had never landed on the people around him, but gazing at them, he noticed that the two on the boat were far from being the only gay couples out in public. Boy, wouldn't that be nice. Hey, everything alright? He averted his gaze finally, refocusing on the deer he was with. Yeah, everything's fine. I'm just gonna put the audio down just a smidge. It seems a tad bit loud for me. Boop. Boop. It's not fucking. Anyways. Still, he felt a pulling in the stomach, deeply uncomfortable, his own memories and hidden insecurities resurfacing. The pain was still too recent, the memories still too real. He felt like breaking into a run. But he couldn't. Not here. Not with Rune. Not with all the people around. This was not his hometown. There were no stretches of fields so wide one couldn't see the end. No red roads stretching on into forever. Whenever he was scared, he ran. Whenever he was bullied, he ran. Wherever it was too much, or whenever it was too much, he ran. But not here. There was something else, though, that could untangle the strings, relax his muscles, loosen the cords pulling on his stomach. Are you hungry? A bit. We've been walking for quite some time already. Why? I'm hungry too. I don't have anything for dinner. How about we pop into one of the restaurants here? Here? It'd be expensive as hell. It's a very click spot. I mean, with this view, the prices are really extra. But I like it here. It'll be my treat. It's the least I can do to thank you for the tour. Oh, you don't have to. It was my pleasure. I love the city and showing it to others. Still, I insist. I stole you for the entire evening. It's only fair that I compensate you somehow. If you really insist, and we can go someplace cheaper. I don't want to ruin your bank account. It'd be fun to eat here. The job pays more than I thought it would. It won't make a dent in my wallet. Do you know any of these places? Not really. I've been in some of these cafes, but the best they offer are cinnamon rolls. A bit earlier there was one that looked good. How about we turn back and check it out? I'm fine with whatever. Lead the way. We got lucky. What little tables were left empty were almost all booked when they arrived. But there was one last two-person table at the window on the upper floor. The lively voices mingled together into a colorful background, unobtrusive, permeated with a sense of afternoon tranquility that seemed fitting for the minimalistic steel, brick, and glass aesthetic of the place. I actually went to a place that kind of looked like that. It was like on a 5-story bookstore at a cafe. Oh my, this is fantastic. Though I'm not sure what it is. What is it called? Anti-churros? I think the menu said cauliflower anti-chuchos on chimichurri. You've never tried Peruvian food before either? Never. But maybe I should have. This is the best fish I've ever had. And it works so well with the pomegranate. Better than I could have ever guessed. That's ceviche, right? Yeah, my favorite. Though I've only had it. The only I've had. Though I've only had it done the Mexican way. This one tastes fresh. It could be today's catch. And the wine pairing is spot on. Oh, you guys are having wine now. Being fancy. I think it's well worth the price. The deer winced, still remembering the shock he felt when he looked at the menu and the prices attached. They didn't catch him off guard completely. When the waiter showed him their table and pulled out the chairs for them, he already knew that this wasn't an ordinary place, as was apparent for Devon from the start when the plaque with a red plate hanging next to the entrance door. He went to protest, but they got the last table available, and Devon argued that it would be a waste to give it up and leave. The heavenly taste of the meal was just the tiniest bit bittered by the exorbitant cost on it. Still, it had already happened. The deer knew better than to ruin their fun with his reservations. Let the panther repay him just as he sees fit. The seed of pomegranate he bit through was full of juice, sweet and tart. You didn't have any Peruvian restaurants where you lived? Oh, hell no. We had a local diner and a barbecue restaurant, that's all. Oh, I assumed you were living in a big city. I'm not sure why. Sorry. It's weird that he's like, sorry that I thought you lived somewhere else. It's kind of weird, that whole thing where you say sorry when sorry doesn't seem like the thing to put there. When I think of the US, I think of mostly of places like New York, Seattle, and California. Don't forget Miami and Houston. All of these are at one of the coasts. I'm from the landlocked Midwest. Which state? Ohio. Ah, not much to know about that one. It's mostly farmlands, as far as the eye can see. There are some small towns, plus, of course, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Columbus. Oh, I've heard of Cincinnati, from that TV series about the afterlife. They called it the Medium Place, if I'm not mistaken. Now, what is this going to be a reference to, the Medium Place? I don't know. Not the best recommendation. Have you watched it? It's fantastic, if you ignore the repeating romance side plots. Ugh, really? Side plots of romance? Wait, is that putting into this game because this is a side plot romance? Anyways, I don't think I have. I haven't watched anything for a while. And I live close to Cleveland, near Toledo. I don't know Cincinnati that well. So I reckon you didn't like it there much if you moved. Well, no. Also, sorry, my throat's like, hey, even though you haven't been reading at all today, how about we all of a sudden get a scratch in us? Maybe it's because of all that running. I'm not sure if I'll find a place here, but for sure, I'm glad I moved anyway. Norway? Actually, why Norway? Canada is much closer if you feel like you need a change. That was an easy choice. I got dual citizenship. Norwegian was by law of blood, and American by law of the land. My mother is from here. Oh, I had no idea. And she didn't teach you Norwegian? Just a bit, but I barely remember it. At home, we spoke almost only English. They thought it would be best if I mastered English first, and get to some good university. Still, that's really cool. Where's your family from? Fuck. Trone de Helm. I've been there only a few times as a kid, but we stopped coming for holidays after I was 6 or so. I haven't been there, but I hear it's a nice city. By the way, I'm not touching on some personal topics, I hope. Tell me if I cross the line or something. No, you're good. Don't worry. It's quite nice talking to you, actually. Thank you. Same to you. It's interesting to meet somebody from another continent. So, how's the US? What made you want to move? Well, I mostly know the US. I lived there all of my life. I don't have much to compare to, and it's not a homogeneous place either. It's one country, but almost it's as big as the whole Europe. And when it comes to moving out, it's a combination of factors. The place itself wasn't such a bad place to live, though it was boring. I'm used to living in town. I didn't even like Toledo that much. Toledo? Yeah. That was the closest city. I was afraid I'd hate Anslo, but if it was much cozier than I imagined. I can read! Though not well. I guess after this scene, we might just cut it, for the quick look, and leave the rest to side plays. It's a nicer place, that's for sure. You didn't think of moving within the United States, though? I'm sure there are plenty of options there. It's, well, a bit hard to explain, but I feel like I had to. Living where I lived felt stifling, and if I was to move, I wanted to move someplace far removed from that world. So, was it a spontaneous decision, or something you've been wanting to do for a while already? Well, I can't say I wasn't considering this, but, yes? Me and my partner, we broke up in June, and honestly, her relationship was the last thing that kept me there. It really shook me to the core, and I felt that I have to start anew, in a friendlier place. So, that brought me here. Ah, I understand. I'm sorry it ended like that. At least I'm here right now. They both fell silent. Rune couldn't find the words that would seem right, and Devon again started to reflect on his whole life up to that point, which by that point was almost a hobby for him. Could he ever find a way out of it? Of everything that has happened? With this whole weight still bearing down his heart? Thoughts circling, looping, transversing the same beaten paths, yearning to escape, yet unable to do so. A shadow ran through his face, like an eagle cutting across the sky. He imagined himself standing up, leaving to the street and breaking into a run, a frantic kind that turns off the mind and silences the quivering thoughts. He grabbed the fork with his huge paw, almost too big for the utensil, observing how it reflects the light. Even with the deer's company, he felt profoundly alone, a howling moon in the melting sky, an alien observer in a foreign land. Who was this deer to him, even? Just a stranger, his own student, a mere passerby. Their lives touch for a moment, and then they drift away. Just ships at sea, drifting in all directions. It is kind of fun, maybe not fun, but like when you're at sea being like, oh, there's a ship over there. It's a tanker or something. Should we go? It's getting dark outside. I think it's time for us. Yeah. Unless you want dessert? And by dessert, do you mean me? I'm good, thank you. This is more than enough. And, I know it's premature because, for first thing, we tend to go for like an hour-ish. Or, for these things, we'd go for, like 45 minutes to an hour. But since we're going to be doing side plays and stuff, and apparently can read with shite right now, I think we're going to call it. And check out what we're going to be doing next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Random number generator. Give me what you got. Random number generator. 5. Survey says 4. Where's the thing? Okay. 1. Oh. Heck, we didn't move that one, but that's fine. We'll just 1, 2, 3, 4. NMF. I'm just gonna, let's see, that's the one, yeah, that's the one with the disappearing guys. So, NMF. Again, if you want to play this game right here, you're gonna have to get it on Patreon for $5 a month. So, gonna turn this one off, boop. Gonna turn this one on, and that one off, in. And turn the audio down a tad bit. There we go. I think this is the same people that made that Roads to Nowhere or something. No More Future, which is a game about... Let me just bring it up. Okay, maybe just need to type in it. No More Future. Oh, it has protegenes in it, I guess. Or something like that. Yeah, definitely the people that made something. But anyways, let's read the synopsis. You're young, adults. You man? Not human, but you men. Living in a futuristic America in the late 22nd century. Which would be... 22nd would be like 2030, or is that 2020? Or 20... Okay, the first century starts at 0. So that would be 2100, I guess? I don't know. Through your life and dream... Though you had a life, dreams, and aspirations once, it all got swept away once you were diagnosed with an incurable late-stage brain cancer. Now, you're stuck in a hospital, living the last few weeks of your life in existential agony, incapable of processing what you did wrong to deserve this fate. Everything changes when, one day, you're approached by a scientist from the world's largest mega corporation. Now I can see how this is going to go well. Who offers you a chance to escape. Actually, I think I should put the audio down just a tad bit more. Boop. Oh, I'm covering the pointy gene. That sound good? Okay. Back. Who offers you a chance to escape your dying body and have your mind transplanted into an android synth vessel. The only catch being, nobody knows whether the process will work or not, whether you'll survive the transition or ultimately perish, with little holding you back. Reading on, you eventually accept. You awaken in your new body, feeling quite different from how you were before. Nobody can tell whether it's truly you inside the machine, or an AI believing that it's you. So basically it's Soma. Not even you. In a world where technology is constantly evolving, advanced AIs are viewed with fear and suspicion, and few things are certain. You have to rebuild your old life from scratch, convince those who abandoned you on your deathbed that you're still here, and ultimately figure out whether you truly are who you claim to be. Though that is a good question about stuff where it's like, I would have to assume in a situation like that, I do not know if souls exist. I mean, I feel like I have an observer for me that I'm not sure if is able to influence my actions, or if, you know, I'm just a pile of just a mechanism, not really influenced by this observer that I have. Though it's like, because I don't observe every human, but I observe me, so I don't know how that works. But anyways, when it comes to computers, like, I don't know. But it's like, also, can computers have souls? Like advanced AIs? Because it's like, well, what's the difference between an AI brain and my brain? Carbon and silicon, you know? Unless for some reason carbon has this soul thing in it. But then it's like, okay, the difference between carbon and silicon is like neutrons, protons, and electrons. Just saying. But anyways, enough of this philosophizing. That's going to be the end of this quick look. And going to be eventual side play, but this is going to be a quick look here too. So anyways, please comment, guys, comment, say what you like, dislike, tips, as always, if you like me YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out our videos app. Grow, please don't be in your arrows to help control the pet population. It's alright, that way, I guess my reading is shite and my voice is all scratchy for some reason. But also, if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io, but if you... I'm also checking on Partreon because I wasn't looking while I was doing that whole extensive thing. Let's see. Yes, early access to future builds is $6 a month for Sledge. Anyways, until next time, another quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix, I've done with future. So thanks and see ya.